All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and bitch-made motherfuckers all alike. How you guys doing today? My name is Eddie Law. That's Ash Lamprey, my brother from the other side of the ocean. A lot of interesting thing about Mr. Ash today. First of all, clearly hoodie season out in good old UK, right? I'm assuming it's kind of cold.
Powerful.
Yeah, powerful ice cold shit going down on the East Coast. New York's cold too, though. If you guys have been watching those embedded shows for UFC 217, which we'll be talking about today. Then it's cold as shit. Meanwhile, on the West Coast, we're all enjoying the fuck out of this weather. Maybe not California. California's a little warmer, but my side of town, nice and cool. So, how are you today, sir?
I'm fucking living the dream. It's been an easy day. I've not really kind of struggled with anything. It's been nice and chilled. I've been at work, but it's all good. I'm looking forward. Like, how can I put this? I'm not excited for the main event, and I think that this is a good card, but it's not like 205 was and some other cards. I'm not as excited, but the build up for it has kind of got me excited for it now because it's that big game feel. It feels like we're building up to it now. Like all the talk is done. Now the weekend is coming. We're not far off now. We're 3 days out. It's all about to go down.
How about this, man? The main event, obviously, GSP against Bisping, just to get right into the card, because I'm excited as fuck about it, right? Not about that fight per se, but the card as a whole is pretty fucking stacked. All right, 3 title fights, 2 of them that are legit. One of them is like, eh. And we're talking, of course, about Mr. Michael Bisping defending against George St. Pierre. And the closer we got to this pay-per-view, the more shit the fight got, which is weird. Like, I haven't seen very much of a shift about this fight. People are still like, whatever. And that's been like the general feeling. Do you blame it on the fight, on the booking, or do you blame it on lack of promotion? Because I don't know about you, but I didn't see any heavy promotion until maybe last Wednesday.
I think the thing is for me is I just don't think anybody cares about GSP.
That's got to be what it is, right?
I'm not trying to shit on anybody here, but at the end of the day, when Brock Lesnar was coming back, there was a hype about Brock Lesnar coming back, and literally the entire internet blew up purely based on the fact that he said what was the words that he used? I'm here, or something like that, or I'm here right now.
No. It's how you like me now? No. What did he say off the promo? You mean, right?
Yeah, the promo where Ariel Helwani got fucking kicked in the vagina for.
I think it was how you like me now. I mean, now I'm curious. I'm gonna pull it up on YouTube.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? There it is. Can you hear me now? And then everyone was like, "What?" And even like you even heard, because that was during UFC 199, the Rockhold card. In fact, the card between won the title at. But if I'm correct, right, that is 199 where Bisping won the card, the belt, right? Yeah. Anyway, that was when that shit happened. And Joe Rogan goes, "What was that?" And then that's when Mike Goldberg, former UFC commentator, commentator guy, that's when he was like, "That means Brock is back against TBD." They didn't even know he was gonna fight. But you're right, they knew who the fuck he was. They were excited about it. This is the guy that beat Frank Mir's ass after Frank Mir knee-barred his ass. They nearly tore that shit up after I forgot what ref it was, but it was a ref that it wasn't Yamasaki, it was the other guy. But the ref that Brock swore to never have a fight, with him in it. So I'm with you, dude. I think GSP is just like, he's gone so damn long that it's almost like we have almost like a brand, not new completely, but a good chunk of this fan base is new and they have no clue who he is.
But nobody even cares who he is outside of it, because Brock Lesnar at least brought over people from WWE who was like, whoa, WWE, we get to see somebody actually fight. Let's watch it. It makes it entertaining. GSP has been in cameos in various films where he's been in for 2 minutes, or he's been in films that nobody really give a shit about kickboxing. I'm sorry, but that film was so atrocious. It hurt my eyes, my soul, and it kind of made me just want to punch Jean-Claude in the face for letting somebody ruin another film.
Yeah, I didn't even bother watching it, dude.
The fact still remains is GSP, I just don't think is that much of a draw. Would he have done better if this had been in Canada? Yes. But the point still being is the actual pay-per-view buys.
Yeah, I mean, what was now I'm starting to wonder what his draw power was before he left. It can't have been that good.
I know that it was all right for the time period, but when you're one of the stars of that time period, you're going to do well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're one of the top guys at that time, you're going to do well because you're one of the top guys at that time. Whereas now, you don't have to be a top guy per se. Like, you don't have to be a champion to be a guy who can do big buys. You don't have to be. You can be a mediocre guy in mid tier in the rankings, and you can draw like fuck. So, but yeah, this fight. I think this pay-per-view is a good pay-per-view. I think it's a really decent pay-per-view with a lot of stacked, fights in there. But the thing is, though, is regardless of whichever way you look at it, let's be honest, the main event kind of sucks. Like, I'm even as an Englishman, I'm looking at this fight and I'm kind of like,
I mean, they've been trying to hype it up. I know you. I think you watched the embedded stuff today, or are you watching that tomorrow?
I'm watching that like after this.
After this, okay. So you haven't seen it yet, but all the embeddeds, they're really trying to push the GSP. Even Bisping himself has been saying, I know he defended the belt 9 times and giving him all the credit in the world. And he says, but I'm gonna kick his ass. But it's just weird. To me, it lacks enthusiasm in the promotion itself. But the fight is just, even when it was announced, you and I talked about it. Like, I mean, I guess that was literally my reaction to it when I heard the announcement. You and I talked about it. I was like, I guess it's a fight. I mean, okay. I would prefer to see GSP fight for the 170 belt if he comes back.
You know what this fight is, and I know obviously you're not into your wrestling that much, like your pro wrestling and whatnot, but this literally reminds me of, for wrestling fans, when Goldberg competed against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania the first time, and nobody cared because they knew both of them were leaving afterwards. This is the exact same principles. You're looking at Michael Bisping, who, let's be honest, guys, this will probably be his last fight. I know he says he's wants to fight again, and fight against Robert Whittaker. They're wanting to do UFC 221. He's wanting to wait a little bit longer, and he wants it to be in Manchester. Do I see where he's coming from? Yes. But the fact is, you just can't wait that long. Unless, obviously, Whittaker can't compete till then. But the fact still remains, I think GSP gets beat. I think GSP then disappears off the face of the planet. And, yeah, I think Michael Bisping rides off into the sunset with, and I'm going to throw this out there, guys, because I know a lot of people are going to hate on this, and I understand where they're coming from. But the fact is, though, is you could argue that he's one of the greats in the sport, and he's up there with many other names when you look at who he's beat regardless. And you have to look at his career. Like, he beat Henderson, he beat, if he does beat GSP, Anderson Silva, Luke Rockhold obviously is a name to throw in there anyway. But the fact is, though, is it's a fucking win streak nonetheless, where he's beaten all these guys consistently. And, hey, every guy who did beat him, juiced to the fucking gills, and everybody who he's beaten since, he's done with one fucking eye. So you could argue he's one of the greats of all time. Not the greatest, of course, but he's one of the greats of all time.
Yeah, I was like speaking to somebody today that was trying to make the argument that he was the greatest of all time, and I'm like, whoa, settle down, boy. Come on now. I know he beat Anderson Silva. He beat Anderson Silva post busted leg, post old as shit, post.
Doesn't matter. A win's a win, bro.
Oh, get the fuck out! This isn't basketball.
You're only as good as your last win.
Football.
You're only as good as your last win.
Right, but you got to take into account the age. Fucking A.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
You do.
You don't though, because by that account, then John Jones, hasn't competed in X amount of years prior to fighting DC. Yeah. So if DC had have beaten him, we'd have gone, oh, DC is the greatest light heavyweight of all time. He's beaten everybody. He even beat John Jones. Nobody would have turned around and said, yeah, but John Jones had ring rust, bro.
Fuck that. 100%. 100% people would be saying that shit.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would. Said, dude, they would make it. No, time out.
They were his own fault. They'd have said, oh, it's his own fault, bro. It's his own fault for getting caught.
No. Wrong. I'm pulling the truck. Wrong. All right, sir. It's not. No, fuck no. Okay, hell no. Most people would have been like, "Well, John Jones was gone for 2 years." I guarantee, because people dislike DC that fucking much.
Nope.
They'll pull out any excuse possible for John Jones.
Nah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Get that
all
out.
over him.
Hey, you know what?
Jones
Fuck it.
Would have had a
If
big
anyone's-
bruise on his chest, and everybody would have been like, "Go take some dick pills now, bro. Go and do some cocaine dick pills, bro."
DC fans would be doing that shit. Here's the thing. All right, anybody watching right now, because I haven't even pulled up the video at all. Anybody watching right now, all right, let us know what you would think would happen. Had DC beat John Jones, what do you think would have happened? The excuse that I know would have happened, would have been thrown out there. John Jones been gone for 2 years. Or what Ash said, which is basically, well, John Jones, DC's the best ever. Fuck John Jones. That's not.
People turn around and say that he's one of the greatest ever anyway.
He's who? DC?
Yeah. In
Certainly at 205.
In the light heavyweight division. Some people say he is the greatest of all time.
I don't know what the fuck they're watching. He lost the same guy twice.
John Jones, who keeps on getting popped.
Yeah, and here's the thing. That's where you start adding asterisk shit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's an asterisk to that. I'll fucking admit to that shit for sure. The fact that there's definitely an asterisk next to DC's name, because sure he's okay. Time out. Has he been officially given the belt back? I never paid attention to that.
No, nobody's actually. Oh, he's been given the belt back. Yeah.
Okay, so he's champ. Okay, so he's officially champ again. All right, but at the same time, perception is reality, and everyone remembers him getting beat, right, badly by John Jones.
I'm just telling you, man. The fact is, though, he is. I'm saying that Bisping's in the conversation as one of the greatest of all time. I'm not saying he's the greatest. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, you look at everything he was able to accomplish at 205, at 185, and the only people that have beaten him were dudes that we all know were fucking juiced up to the gills. I think the only exception is probably Luke Rockhold, and then he fucking starched Luke Rockhold. The second time.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, the first time Luke Rockhold smothered him to death, but and then choked him out. But the second time he knocked out Luke Rockhold. It's funny. I was talking to somebody about that, and I was like talking about how Bisping knocked him out, and took the belt from him. Like, yeah, dude, Bisping's such a bad motherfucker, man. Went in and took Luke Rockhold, who looked almost unbeatable then. And they were like, "Oh, well, they only took Luke Rockhold out because he looked like he didn't give a fuck." And I go, "What? Did you? Wait a minute. So he beat him because he didn't give a fuck. He didn't beat him because he rocked the shit out of him, dropped him on the cage, and then bounced his head off the cage repeatedly. He didn't beat him because of that. He beat him because he didn't give a fuck. Like, sure, Luke Rockhold might have gone in there looking bothered and shit. Maybe he fucking overestimated. That's part of the fight game. Okay.
People are neglecting that he got hit twice before he went to the ground, and then he got beaten up against the cage. He got hit once.
He got dropped.
He's got spinned around. He got back up. He got fucking leathered again, and then he dropped to the ground, and then he got finished. People don't take into account that there's various different moments where we watch various different fighters who have been clipped and then managed to pull guard. They've managed to get a clinch, managed to get a quick takedown to get the bearings, but he didn't get the opportunity because Bisping went in for the kill. Now we're going on subject here, but the fact is, though, is Bisping is going to be one of the greatest of all time. At the end of the day, if he beats GSP, he'll have most wins in UFC history. I'm still sure that he has the highest significant strikes in UFC history. And additional to that, you're talking about a guy who was the first British champion. First guy from the UK to win a title. Additional to that, the list of being like Anderson Silva, Henderson, along with obviously potentially GSP as well. You've got to throw him in the conversation as far as one of the greatest of all time. I just don't. Sure. I agree that some people can turn around and say other people are, but the fact is, though, is Bisping is up there, and if he was American, you guys would be toting on.
Here we go.
So hard.
Here we go. Here we go.
Hard. So hard. You would be doing the Christy Mack all over him.
Bruh, dude, people are here you know how many people here ride fucking Conor McGregor's nuts? He's European, has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but the difference is, though, is there's a lot of Irish in the States, whereas there's not many Englishmen in the States in comparison.
Okay, fair enough. But I don't know. Anyway.
You hate the English. You don't mind the Irish because they all went over to you. You just hate the English because you just fucking still salty over what was it, 400 years ago or some bullshit. I don't even know this whole what's the thing between us? What's the two little things?
What? The wars?
What was the fucking the revolution bullshit, whatever it's fucking called?
The American Revolution?
Is that what it is? Is that was the thing? Is that what it's called with us and you? Is that was the big beef and stuff from way back when?
Back in the day, taxation without representation, all that shit.
Yo, you know what's the thing? We don't even get taught that in school.
No?
We don't even give a fuck about it. Like, legit. We don't, you know what we learn about? We learn about, like, the world wars, as far as history, like, as far as, like, our stuff. Like, we learn about, like, the World War, you know, working with other nations. You guys are still talking about some bitterness from fucking hundreds of years ago to do with us. Like,
to be fair, we're just a little over 200 years old, man.
Bro. You guys are so bitter. Like, honestly.
Bitter?
Like, you guys know how to hold a grudge.
Hold up. Now we're pulling out some facts.
With what? Okay. What are you trying to pull
the United States is 241 years old, sir.
Okay, so how long ago was it that you were still bitter over?
I don't know if we're still bitter over it. Yo, mind you, what is this we shit? I'm not even from here. I wasn't even taught this shit until I got here.
Yeah, but you're Mexican though. But I'm just saying. Like, what the fuck do you want me to say to that? Of course you were taught it. Like,
I was taught it when I got here, not when I was in Mexico.
Americans have been taught it like religiously for years. That's some bitterness. Y'all need to get over it.
It's about winning. It's about winning, dude. It's about winning.
Yo, it's about
we're taught winning.
It's about being salty.
Hey, you know how much we learned in school about Vietnam? Not very much. That wasn't much of a win. we don't learn a lot about that. You don't learn about all the you don't learn about all the fucking crazy shit that happened there. That you know.
As good as your last win, ladies and gentlemen. Never forget that.
Goddamn right.
You're only as good as your last win. Right. So basically, we're going to do the breakdown of the card right now. We'll start with the GSP. We'll do a reverse because why the fuck not at this point? GSP, Bisping. How do you see the fight playing out, and how do you see it ending, or how does it develop? What happens? What's the be all end all of it?
All right. Well, I like. Oh my! So he's there. I'm not convinced that GSP is going to be big enough to deal with Michael Bisping. Okay, size wise, right? So if you look at just that alone, the reach, GSP somehow has fucking longer arms than Michael Bisping by like an inch. Fine, fair enough. And you know, Bisping's like a couple inches taller. That's just on the physical side. Bisping is technically a light heavyweight. Like when he goes in there, he's not going to be 185. When he goes in there, he's going to be what, like 210 maybe? Maybe a little under? Okay.
I think it'll be about 205, 210, yeah.
Meanwhile, GSP will probably be like a $195, maybe 200 pounds tops.
He wanted
and 200 pounds would be a lot.
He said in an interview that he wanted to be back up to about 198 when he was stepping into the octagon to fight. Right.
So on top of that, you're talking about Michael Bisping, who's big, who's strong, who has, in my opinion, better striking, and who's been training with wrestlers for this entire camp. That being said, the big question mark to me about this fight is what does GSP have? 4 years is a long time to be gone. Who knows? Can you still do the shit you used to be able to do? To like on command whenever you want to take the fight to the ground? You know what I mean? Use that jab, which, you know, I don't know how good it's going to be working against Bisping, but, you know, you'll try it. GSP's a huge question mark here. Okay. Now, GSP to me in this fight has more to gain than Michael Bisping in terms of should he somehow finish Bisping in like spectacular fashion. If that somehow happens, GSP is going to stick around and fight Tyron Woodley, champ versus champ. That's what I'm calling. All right. That's going to happen. If GSP does some kind of crazy like fucking submission or knockout, whatever. If it goes to decision, everyone's going to be like, oh, same old GSP, fucking just, you know, then go for the finish, just trying to smother.
That's going on the fucking prelims, ladies and gentlemen. I'm calling it right now. If GSP does a 5-round Lamprey, him versus Tyron Woodley is going to be the main event of the prelims of some pay-per-view.
Right, but if you're able to start Bisping somehow, that's going to be a fucking huge fight. It will be. That being said, I don't see him being able to handle Bisping at all. I mean, every time that George tries to get in there, take him down, you're eating knees and, you know, jabs and everything that Bisping can do. Yeah. And he's been working. And again, it's not like Bisping hasn't been training, you know, wrestling and takedown defense like that since probably even before this fight got fucking announced. Bisping's like he's fucking improved a lot. Sure, he's older. I mean, you know, he's not. I don't know. Is he older than GSP?
I think they're around about No, I think he's younger than GSP, isn't it? I'm sure
Bisping's 38. GSP's 36.
Oh right,
Okay,
I genuinely thought that Bisping was younger.
Not by much, apparently.
Yeah.
But
So 2 years
yeah,
age.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I just a lot of this is just I have too many questions about GSP. What does he have? Is the extra added weight going to kill his cardio? Is he going to gas out and get tired? Obviously quicker with lack of lack of oxygen to the muscles. Meanwhile, we know what Bisping brings: the striking, the takedown defense, fucking heart like a motherfucker, cardio for days. I mean, what was his resting heart rate when he first when Joe Rogan lost his shit on his podcast?
Wasn't it like 90 or something like that? It was
some ridiculous number, right? Bisping's going to be there all 5 rounds at the same pace. Can GSP do that with the added weight and the time off? I don't know. That being said, I like Bisping's been active. He's defended. He's got maybe not as much to gain as GSP does, in my opinion. But okay, I take it back. He does have about as much, maybe more now that I think about it. Because you're right. If he beats GSP, that's a huge name to add to your resume, right?
100%.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just make a pick here. I'm gonna pick Bisping. 5th round epic TKO.
I'm gonna go with a 4th round TKO. Based on this is my keys to victory and my kind of pros and cons of each fighter right now. So for GSP, the upside that he has, he's had plenty of time to work on new stuff, different techniques, and he's been able to watch a lot more footage of Bisping in recent fights, etc., etc. The unknown is one of the main things that you have to throw in GSP's, pluses. The cons is this, at the end of the day, we know that he's, a great martial artist and, great athlete. But with that same thing said, the cons, Bisping has been consistently fighting over the past, 4 years, whilst GSP has not. And no matter what anybody says to you, going off and doing movies, cameos or not, is not the same as competing in the octagon. It's just not. It's just not the same. You can drill as much as you want. How much has GSP been drilling? Has he been in the gym 4 to 5 days a week, every week since, 4 years ago when he left after a very, very close and arguably controversial decision win over Johnny Hendricks? Now, with that same thing said, the other concern that I have is again the step up in weight class for numerous reasons. One, GSP is going to be at a power disadvantage. He's not used to being that big, competing against somebody in the octagon and getting smashed and getting hit and trying to take down somebody that big. And again, that person has been competing in these situations year in, year out. The other major concern that I have is in the step up in weight for GSP is Michael Bisping. You mentioned his heart rate and his cardio. He is used to putting out a large amount of energy over the course of 3 to 5 rounds at 205. At least 205 to 210. We said that we probably imagine Bisping walking into the octagon.
He'll be heavy. He'll be a big boy.
It'll be a thicker than a snicker lad. But GSP is not used to competing at 185 to begin with, let alone competing at 198. My concern for GSP is him blowing his load in maybe the 1st or 2nd round, trying to get all these takedowns. You know what? If I'm Bisping, I pepper him with jabs, try and keep the distance and movement, let him keep on shooting for the takedowns, and just sprawl. I do essentially what happened to Damian Maida against Colby Covington. Sorry. That would be my game plan for the first 2 or 3 rounds, and maybe rip to the body a little bit, maybe some body punches just to test the metal and see how that body handles a couple of digs, and then when we get to the 3rd and 4th, well, we know Bisping's got the cardio. Has GSP got the cardio to compete at a higher weight at a high level? I don't think he does. I think that Bisping wears him out. I think he gets to the 4th round. I think that's when GSP starts to look sloppy. Father Time comes knocking and looks at GSP and goes, I am not impressed by your performance. And he puts the death touch on him. And I think you see Bisping get the finish.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with it at all, honestly. It's just, I'm just curious to see what GSP brings. That being said, the curiosity of what GSP has left in the tank, or whatever phrase you want to use for it, it just seems to not be enough to bring people to watch. Weirdly enough, no, weirdly enough, I fucking hate when I use the same fucking phrase over and over again. But it's odd to me how the UFC hasn't pushed TJ versus Cody more than they have. You know what I mean?
I think they really did focus a lot on the Joanna fight, and they really focused on the GSP fight. You know what I mean, quote unquote. I use these terms just because they're the two people that people really want to put the money behind. Is Joanna, the greatest female fighter of all time? Can GSP come back and compete against the champ? That's the headlines. They're the cliff notes that you see when they look at this. They did the big push of the rivalry, and I think we mentioned this in the last podcast. It fizzled out, and they can't do the thing of these guys hate each other. They did that for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, however long that tough lasted, and then obviously, unfortunately, Cody got injured. So you can't rerun the same fucking program because people are like, yo, I've seen this bullshit. It's a waste of airtime.
Right, and they kind of tried too a little bit.
Yeah, I did like though. Did you see Cody working the mats when he was on that basketball court? The Knicks. I'm presuming it was the Knicks.
No, what did he do?
He had Loyalty playing in the background.
He had what? Loyalty?
Loyalty.
Yeah, with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. He had that playing in the background whilst he was working out. So
that was I love the indirect shade.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking cool. That was pretty fucking fun.
Yeah.
But again, I'm with you. I would have liked to seen a little bit more, but then I think to myself, it'd have been a bit of a rehash. And do we need to see that? I'm with you. I kind of wish they would have thrown the Holloway Edgar fight on this card, and somehow found a way to put Bisping GSP in Canada somewhere, or in England somewhere, in UK. I think they would have been way better. But look, man, I'm not complaining about this card at all. I'm just hoping that everyone's like wrapped up in bubble wrap in their hotel room. Just can't wait. I don't want anyone outside. None of that shit. This card needs to make it to fucking Saturday. All right, but so we made our picks for the main event. The co-main event's interesting as shit. You remember when everyone used to compare, and they still do, compare TJ Dillashaw to Dominic Cruz? Yeah.
As far as like, oh, he copied his style exactly. Not exactly, but it's a similar style. That style didn't work against Cody Garbrandt, from with the guy that fucking created that style, basically. That didn't work with Cody. What do you think happens in this one with TJ? What do you think TJ has to do differently?
See, for me, the thing with TJ is TJ has, how can I put this? I think TJ is the overall better mixed martial artist.
Okay.
So, because obviously we don't know per se how good Cody's wrestling is, because we've never had to see it. We know that he's apparently got a good wrestling amateur background, an okay one at least, and he's obviously a team alpha male, so he should have some decent wrestling. But the question is, though, is it better than TJ's?
Let's see, TJ. I don't know Cody's background. TJ wrestled at CU Fullerton, Cal Fullerton, whatever. The reason I say that is because that's Mark Munoz's school. That's where Mark Munoz used to coach. In fact, they highlighted that on the embeddeds. When you watch them today or later on, whenever, you're gonna see that they highlighted that Mark Munoz is actually working with him again now. Yeah, with his wrestling. So TJ's wrestling's always been pretty good level. Okay,
it's a high level. I'd say it's an above average high level.
Would you say it's right? Would you okay? Cody's wrestling. I'm gonna look up his wrestling background because I don't think he had like.
So whilst you pull that out, what the point where I was trying to make is at the end of the day, TJ is good standing up. He has a very good fluid style when it comes to hands. Does he have knockout power? No. Can he pepper you and then knock you out? Potentially, yes. We know Cody has the slight edge in the violent knockout power that he does possess. Granted. But we have never seen Cody be taken into deep waters. So we have never seen him being, wrestled and pressured. Because the thing is a lot of guys, we've got to take this into account, a lot of guys, when they go into a fight with Cody, are automatically under the influence of, he's got hands, bro. Like, he has death touch power. TJ's sparred with him religiously for a few years. So he's seen this week in, week out. So it's not nothing new to him. It's not going to be a case of, I wonder how hard Cody hits. He knows how hard he hits, but he also knows his weaknesses too. Obviously, the same argument could be made, but I feel that if TJ, as a more complete mixed martial artist, can implement his wrestling and his ground game, it'll be very interesting to see, can Cody overcome that? Because we've never had to see Cody compete under the bright lights and the pressure of Madison Square Garden. That's another thing that you've got to take into account, because he's a young gentleman competing on the biggest stage in the world, as they like to say. You make it here, you make it anywhere. If he can implement his game of staying stood up and landing some big shots, it's going to be a very long night for TJ. But on the flip side, the fluidity and the sequencing of implementing various different styles is a major plus in why TJ could win this fight.
Right. No, and I'm with you real quick. Cody Garbrandt wrestled for 2 years at high school, and I believe it says he was All-American. Then he turned his focus to boxing over wrestling, and then played football. Blah blah blah. Oh, here we go. Garbrandt attended the national tournament as a senior and placed 5th, receiving interest from several D1 schools. Division One's the highest level university athletics you can compete at in the U.S. Garbrandt briefly attended 2 Division II schools, which is like a step down, Newberry College and Notre Dame College, before dropping out for academic reasons. So it's not like he had he didn't really have very much of a wrestling college or collegiate wrestling background.
Per se.
Right. He doesn't have the pedigree, whatever you want to call it, that like TJ has as far as wrestling goes. But you're right. Training over at Alpha Male, Chad Mendes, Uriah Faber, TJ Dillashaw for a while. Who else do they have? It's like big time wrestlers. They have a bunch of wrestlers over there. Yeah. It's almost all wrestlers. He was the one guy that came in with a boxing background. They taught him the ground game. But you're right. We haven't seen it very much from him. I mean, looking at his record, obviously 11-0. Dominic Cruz decision that never went to the ground really. The Mizugaki fight ended by TKO. The Almeida fight was a one-hitter quitter, pretty much a one-hitter quitter. The Augusto Mendes fight was a one-hitter quitter. Briones, I don't think took him down. I don't remember that fight. Brimichi got finished. I mean, the whole point is this: we never really seen him on the ground as far as how to use his wrestling. So if I'm TJ, yeah, damn right, I try to make it a wrestling match for at least some of it, right?
I try to confuse him. That's my thing. Use everything. Clinching, striking, takedowns. Even if you don't hold him down, he has to get back up.
Yeah, and that tires you out.
I'm playing devil's advocate because I truly feel that TJ is the superior mixed martial artist in this, but that doesn't mean he can win the fight. I think the only thing is for me is if the rumors were true that Cody, and by God, at least drop the video this week. If you had footage of knocking out TJ, you should have dropped it this week. Like, let's be true.
Yeah, this has been the week to get those last few pay-per-view buys of that video.
Exactly. So, I'm gonna go with Cody because if it's true, there's a psychological edge. And I think that's one of the most important things in mixed martial arts. The psychological edge will carry you so much further because no matter what TJ does, there's a fear subconsciously.
Do you think, with all the shit that's been talked about, with the fact that everybody basically blames or credits TJ with ending a Holdsworth career, and here's the thing, we're talking that, Cody and Uriah Faber doing interviews everywhere, most notably the JRE doing the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, which, by the way, was hilarious because that went live and everybody else's live show numbers tanked to like nothing. Rogan's fucking podcast is like 30,000 people watching it at one time or more. Anyway, but do you think that all that shit talk and TJ's been going like, okay, you know, he's trying to like brush it off like it doesn't bother him? To me, it looks like it bothers the fuck out of him.
100%.
Do you think TJ's gonna come in?
Familiar.
Right. Do you think TJ is gonna come in so over emotional that he gets like he makes mistakes, like big mistakes that gets him knocked out?
I think TJ is too cerebral with that. But what I will say is this: it's going to be very interesting to see what if Cody. I don't think you'll see Cody dance, but I definitely think you'll hear him talking a lot. I don't think you'll be able to shut Cody up during that fight. I think
Cody's gonna be talking the whole time.
The entire fight, he'll be talking shit to him, and I think that's the psychological edge that I think that is going to carry Cody to victory. And I'm going to go with decision because I think that TJ's quite good on the ground, whereas if he gets knocked down, I don't think Cody's going to want to go down there.
No.
I don't think he'll chase him up. He didn't if he won't do it for Dominic Cruz, he ain't going to risk it against a much more cerebral guy on the ground like TJ is. I just don't see it in the slightest. I'm going Cody by decision. Just.
Okay. I'm going Cody by knockout. Maybe not first round. I'll say, you know what? I take it back. First round knockout, Cody. I think because I don't buy that TJ doesn't come in over emotional. I think TJ's going to be in there going, you've been talking all this shit. Cody's going to be talking to him during the fight. I don't think TJ can handle that. TJ, to me, almost acts like a child still, sort of.
I agree, yeah.
I mean, just going off the videos that I see. Just going off what
I
he
agree
said.
with you. I'm not disputing
it. Yeah. He seems to act like a child. Like, you know, I'm going to show him. I'm going to eat my SpaghettiOs. I'm going to go kick his ass. Fuck that guy, you know. Meanwhile, Cody's going to go in there talking mad shit and punch him in the face while he's doing it. And I think TJ's going to, you know, try to, you know, I think TJ's going to see an opening, or he thinks he sees an opening to finish that fight and, you know, get his belt back and be able to basically put a finger in Cody's face like, hey, fuck you, dude. And I think he's going to get knocked out because of it. Because if you remember, not to mention this, is TJ also has like a counter-striking sort of style, the same way as Cruz does. How did that work out for fucking Cruz with Cody? Cody would throw something, Cruz would try to counter, and Cody would counter his counter and land some nasty shit. I think the same shit's going to happen in this one, except it's going to be bigger in the first round.
I think the only differences between the TJ style and the Dominic Cruz style is you've got to take into one thing into account. Team Alpha Male pretty much must have like 750,000-inch fucking screen. They must have like one of those, you know, those cinema things that you have like in like basements. Yeah. And on every wall, it must be Dominic Cruz fights that just play every day. Every move. Because let's be honest, they practice for the fucking Dominic Cruz. They sent so many guys after Dominic. They already knew the strategy they wanted to implement. It just took an anomaly, a glitch in the matrix in Cody to be able to implement what they wanted to do, because they studied him for like 4 or 5, 6 fights. So it's a slight difference. I understand where you're coming from, because as well they did train with him, so they do know him. But
they know him very well. His coaches know him very well.
But he also has left and been training at a different gym, which obviously doesn't exist now. But still, the point is he went and trained at a different gym.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Evolution, I believe, shut down.
Yeah, Elevation.
Elevation, sorry. Yeah, Elevation shut down a while ago.
Yeah, they moved
I think it left. What's her name? 135. Yeah. But 135er, female fighter, Ronda Rousey made a mistake. Got armbarred in like 5 seconds. What was her name?
You
know what I'm talking about.
Fuck, I do as well. No, I would just say Gina Carano.
Zingano. Kat Zingano, Matt Brown, and TJ Dillashaw basically was out of like a home. Except now TJ, based out of Colorado still with Dwayne Bang, is starting a team in Southern California. I think it's like in Orange County somewhere, or Orange, whatever it is. By Fullerton, which by the way is going to be where that, I just remember that's where that tournament's going to be that I'm going to be going to in a month. Same city, so that's kind of cool. I just thought about that right now. But it's in Fullerton, near his old college with Mark Munoz and a bunch of guys, like 135ers, 145ers, and so he's getting very different looks. That being said, I just think Cody's got it. Cody's just gonna, I don't know. I just see Cody just knocking him the fuck out, some savage style. But real quick, so. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say this is the most exciting fight on the card as far as like.
Oh, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for this fight and the fight we're about to speak of in a minute here 100. With the ladies. That's gonna be so sick. But real quick, we already talked about what we think GSP and Bisping are gonna do afterwards. We both think Bisping is a good chance he walks away. And with GSP, I think I said that if he wins spectacularly, he'll fight Tyron Woodley, and if he doesn't, it'll just be a big question mark. What the fuck now? What do you think happens for the winner here? Let's say TJ wins the belt. Who's next?
Literally, whoever wins this has to fight Mighty Mouse. Have to.
Yeah.
Because for me, there's only 2 fights for Demetrius Johnson to do. It's either he fights the winner of the Sergio Pettis fight against Suda, or it's the winner of this. It's the only fight. The only other fight that would make sense in a way is against Dominic Cruz. I think they have to run that fight back one time before both of them just go.
You're talking about DJ?
Yeah, DJ versus Dominic Cruz. That fight has to be run back one more time. But yeah, whoever wins this faces DJ because it's the only fight that makes sense per se for DJ. And let's be honest, the UFC kind of wants to fuck DJ. Like, if we're being completely honest,
it sure fucking looks like it. I tell you that.
They want to fuck DJ 100%. I don't care what anybody says. They're trying to bury DJ. I don't care what anybody says. They are trying to get rid of that guy. They are. They want him to get beat. They don't want him. They didn't want him to be the pound for pound. Let's be honest. They don't want him to be, the longest defending champion of all time. They didn't want that shit. Never.
Yeah. They don't want. I mean, he's really not the face of the UFC, but they don't want him to be one of the faces of the UFC. It seems like to me. You know what I mean? But they almost want him to shut his mouth and take what they give him, and he's not doing that. He's like talking a lot.
And Rivera versus Cruz, that's happening soon. So whoever wins that is going to need a little bit of a layoff. Let's be honest, Demetrius doesn't even need a fucking layoff after that last fight. He barely took any damage whatsoever. He could quite step in with either of these guys in 4 months' time.
I agree with you 100%. I think the winner gets. We're talking a big fight with Demetrius Johnson, unless somebody wins by razor thin decision. It's controversial as shit, and you got to run that bitch back. That's the only way I see either one of those guys fighting someone not named Demetrius Johnson. Yeah. And I guess to add like a 1B reason why we were not going to see that fight is if Demetrius Johnson, there's some kind of negotiation problem with the UFC to make that fight happen. Then you talk about the winner of Cruz Rivera versus the winner of this fight. But I think it's going to be. I think you're right. I think the fight to make is the DJ fight. The fight to make that's going to excite the shit out of fans and make them want to watch. DJ
versus. If we're talking for the purist, TJ versus DJ is my fight. If we're talking about just kind of my naughty little kind of, that'd be cool. Him versus Cody's the one. Like, because
that'd be funny shit to see.
Who the fuck can stop him? Like, who could if he knocks out, right? Say your prediction comes through, and Mr. K comes through with the power. Like, if Cody starches it, the question is, it'll be. I'm gonna get a sideways look, but fuck it, I'm saying it out loud. It will be like when Randy Couture fought against Chuck Liddell. Can Randy implement that grinding, wrestling style that DJ would implement against Cody? But then Cody's got that venomous. If I touch you, you're going down with the quickness. You are going.
Yeah, not to mention what weight class is going to be at and all this shit. So
I don't think it'd be a weight class. You'd have to make it catch weight to make it fair. Make it 130. Let's just make it fair. It doesn't have to be for a title. Fuck it. Let's just fuck making it for a title. We don't want a 2-weight champion. We don't want to hold up divisions. fucking make it 130.
That'd be legit as fuck if they actually did that. I'd be okay with that. DJ would be like, "Oh, I don't have to cut anyway. Fine. Like, I took a dump and I made weight. I'm good to go." Meanwhile, Cody cutting an extra 5 pounds. I think he would do it for the money. Why not?
I don't think it'd be that much of a difficult thing to do either. I just think that it's unfair if they take a belt away from either gentleman. Because, to be completely honest, it'd be a struggle for both of them to defend it and their own. And it holds up divisions that are quite interesting divisions as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, I think they did it for Conor just because that sells a lot, in my opinion.
And we never knew that. We didn't think it'd ever happen. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and we all kind of knew that he was never going to defend that 145 belt. Once he won at 155, I think all of us knew he was just going to, they were going to take it away or he was going to drop it or whatever. I honestly never thought he would defend that 145.
I'll say this. If they hadn't have said that they were going to take it away and then they took it away the way that they did, I think that we potentially might have not seen Conor versus Floyd as quick.
Okay.
I think we'd have seen that Conor Floyd fight being built up in X amount of months' time, and I think you'd have seen Conor fight against somebody. But just to jump into the Conor stuff real quick, because we brought up his name, so I just want to get this out there because he did like a little bit of a media scrum and everything like that. Have you seen anything or heard anything to do with the media scrum?
What do you mean today's media scrum? Was there one today? I haven't watched anything. I mean, I saw the embedded and the countdown and shit. That's about it.
Apparently, he's in talks with the UFC for potentially fighting at the end of this year.
Conor.
So
you're talking Tony Ferguson?
Yes, he was on a TV show that he stated that he would like to fight against Tony Ferguson. Which was also featured in the new UFC 3 video game, like 10-second trailer.
That game, God, I swear to God, if it sucks, I'm gonna be so annoyed.
You suck it in. Fuck you, dog. Right.
No, but there's so much shit they need to fix on that game. Anyway, whatever.
Agree. They need to make you better at it. Yeah, I agree. So potentially, the talks have been open for him to fight at the end of this year.
Okay.
The stumbling block, apparently so far, the words from him is he wants a promotional percentage of the fight.
What? I'm not saying he don't deserve it. I'm not saying that at all. I am saying it's going to be a fucking bitch to get that from the UFC.
It will be, but how much did they want to have him fight?
Exactly what he's going to argue. He's going to be like, well, his argument is this. It's going to be this, okay? Fellas, your year has sucked. You had an awful, awful year. Do you want to save some of it? You want to be able to pay some of that $4 bill back? Yeah. I need a percentage. On top of my agree. On top of my pay-per-view points. If I don't walk away, if I don't go home with like 30 mil or 20 mil, whatever the fuck it's going to be, I don't want to talk to you. And that's it.
You know what, right? This is one of those defining moments. You know when me and you always talk about, like, this will be one of those moments where MMA changes forever. If Conor does get a promotional percentage of this, every last MMA fan should rejoice at this. At this moment, right now, no matter what you think of Conor, you should 100% be behind this gentleman, delaying as long as he can until a promotional percentage is offered to him, purely for the fact of what that means for the sport going forward.
And what it means for us as fighters. If you're one of those people that bitches about, the fighter doesn't get paid enough, root for this man to get that, because that changes the game. Maybe not the same way for everybody, but it changes the game. Okay, like for everybody, at least a little bit.
It opens the door.
It opens the door. It sets a precedent, right? It sets a precedent for other guys that maybe coming up later on, like a Conor McGregor or potential stars, to be like, hey, I'm gonna be good, but you gotta pay me. Can't do none of this bullshit. You know what I mean? I mean, fuck. The other day, yesterday, Eric Perez, I believe he's a bantamweight, and he used to be a bantamweight in the UFC. He was 3-0. He was on a 3-fight win streak. Decided not to sign whatever bullshit offer the UFC sent to him. He went to Combate Americas instead. They treated him better. They paid him more. So, if you're losing guys that are on 3-fight win streaks, especially like at 135, where it's not empty. You don't not have contenders, but soon enough, you're not going to have very many. And you let a guy like that go, I mean, because of money. Look, regardless, if Conor gets the percentage, good for him. Okay.
Good for the sport, goddamn.
Good for the sport. Good for the sport. Good for him. Good for the sport. I just want to see the dude fight.
I agree.
Like, as much, I know I give you a lot of shit. I know I make a lot of jokes and all that shit. End of the day, I'm a fight fan. And to me, it's about fights. Let's watch some fucking fights and see the best get in there. And Conor McGregor is one of the best. You know what I mean? I still want to see him against Max Holloway at some point soon. But him against Tony Ferguson, I'm in 100%. Let's see some weird shit. Fuck it. I mean, that'll be a weird fight. I'm sure we'll spend like 10 weeks fucking breaking it down and they make that fight. But that's the fight I want to see. Him against Tony. And had they made him against Nate, please believe me, I'd be 100% behind it. But I was the entire time I'm thinking I want to see Tony in there. Not to mention he deserves it, but I want to see Tony in there.
Yeah, Ferguson was always my MVP. I always wanted him to, like I've said since day one. That
because we're gonna get the Nate trilogy, the DS trilogy, guaranteed at some point. But
he needs to fight them motherfuckers.
I don't think it matters. I think he's just gonna do it. But because it's a money thing, it's what it is. But I think I want to see the unification of the belts. I want to see Conor defend the fucking belts. We can stop talking about the fact they didn't abandon a fucking thing. I'm serious. I'm annoyed by that. I'm sure it bothers you a little bit that anytime you talk about Conor McGregor as champion, it's, well, how many times did you defend the belt? All right, let's just cut that shit out. Defend the belt. And I think we're going to get that.
The one time that if he defends this and he successfully does it, it'll be on to the next one, though. That is the only problem with Conor. That is the only problem.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You will have, and I mean this in all due respect, you will have the Diaz fans. They'll go, yo, but you know who bitch slapped him last time?
Oh, for sure.
But then the other additional thing is say he beats Nate at 155. You know what happens then? Yo, but could you deal with Khabib, bro? Khabib wrestles with bears, bro.
Yeah, but that's in every fucking, that's everybody.
But that's what will happen successfully.
Oh, sure.
Right, so let's be completely honest. Right, so Khabib, if he manages to get to the scales and beats them and then gets to fight Edson Barboza, he takes Edson Barboza down, he beats on him for fucking 3 rounds or beats him whatever way you want to look at it, just throwing this into the matrix and throwing that in the world and whatever. So he beats Edson Barboza. Tony Ferguson gets beat by Conor. Conor fights against Nate. Just say that's the next fight. He beats Nate. The next thing people are going to say is yo, but can he take the O away from Khabib? Khabib's undefeated, bro. Like, he has one of the most impressive streaks in MMA. Nobody talks about how padded that fucking thing is, but
like a motherfucker.
Yo, it's thick. It's memory foam. That's how thick it is. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be the next thing. But regardless, anyway, the fact still remains is I do truly hope that he gets this promotional percentage, because at the end of the day, this opens so many doors for future competitors, along with people now. People can turn around and go, I need a bigger percentage of the pay-per-view buys. I need a bigger percentage. You know, we're making all this money.
Just to clear it up to people, this isn't, with champions especially, all right, and stars, this isn't a you take whatever money you sign that contract for type of thing. You can negotiate things in combat sports. All right, you can ask boxers, you can ask MMA fighters, you can negotiate your ass off and earn shit, especially if you prove that you deserve that negotiating power. And Conor McGregor has. So, you know, it isn't like in the NBA where it's like, well, you know, you take your $5 million, you like it. You know, it's not like that at all. So it's negotiating is definitely in the books for a lot of people, on the cards for a lot of people.
One other thing we'll address before we get into the last fight, pretty much I think our kind of favorite fight that we wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
We want to talk about the incident with Masvidal.
You know what's funny? Let me just recap real quick what happened. So BIsping was out doing who knows what. I'm assuming it was kind of weight, doing who knows what. And Jorge Masvidal, who's also fighting on Saturday, they ran into each other. Apparently the beef comes from Bisping fucking around with the Cuban flag. And, you know, from Romero's Cuban flag and a bunch of the shit that Bisping did and ducking Romero and everything. And, you know, Masvidal was talking shit. Bisping was talking shit back and forth. At the end of that clip, I hadn't heard it. So when you told me about it, I was like, you know, and you were like, I wasn't even going to go at him about it, bro. And I'm like, about what? Well, You said faggot at the end of it. I'm like, what? Like that was genuine. I was like, what? And you're like, it's at the last few seconds. So I went back in the video and I looked, and he just goes, yeah, fag, and it like stopped. Like you hear faggot.
It goes faggot, yeah. And then it just stops.
And it stops. And I'm like, no, bad timing, Jorge. Why would you do that? That's bad timing. Conor just got bitched at.
He needs to learn how to edit as well to save Jorge Masvidal's ass.
Yeah, I don't know who fucking released that video. It has to be one of his guys, I think. Well, maybe not. There's a lot of press around. But yeah, dude, fuck. I got a good laugh out of it. But you're right. I mean, you immediately brought up like they're gonna give him as much shit as they give Conor. So far, or Bisping. So far, not even close.
Have you seen all the clickbait MMA websites have literally just said Jorge Masvidal and Bisping have spat in hallway. Bisping and Masvidal go face to face. Bisping, Masvidal argue. You know what I mean? Literally,
there's only been like one that I've seen that says Bisping or Masvidal uses a slur.
Yeah.
In videos. There's like one that I saw, and I was just like, because I know you and I were talking about it, and I was like, oh, give him some time, dude. Give him some time. They'll get him. And it's like only a few people got him. There's not many that are talking about it.
Nobody's sitting around and said, yo, this is out of line. We don't stand for this. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are.
Yeah.
You should not use disgusting foul language that are derogatory to people of different sexualities, different ethnicities. Nobody said shit. And you know why? You know why, motherfucker?
Here we go. Why? Go ahead.
Because, as you politely informed me, it's because he's not a champion or a big name. That's why, isn't it, Eddie?
I'm gonna say that, yeah, because him and I are more related than me and you. What can I say? We're more Latinos. I'm kidding. Settle down.
We're all humans. God damn it, Eddie.
I'm joking. Anyway,
damn it.
Here's the thing about it.
Another mother.
No. I'm just fucking with you. No, but at the same time, no. Look, man, it's wrong either way. And if you're a professional athlete, I always argue that there should be like a company or somebody in the UFC or whatever, league or organization you're an athlete under, like a training camp of sorts for like solid like 6 months, where it's like you don't say the word faggot ever. If it's you know why? Because you're a pro athlete. You know what that means? Cameras everywhere at all times, forever. Just assume that there's a camera on you right the fuck now when you're taking a shit. It doesn't even matter when. So Masvidal saying that, that's just like that's how a lot of people are raised to speak, especially in the street. It doesn't make it right.
Context, but the fact is though is there was no, nobody gave a fuck about the context of when we spoke about Michael Bisping said it in passive. You know what I mean? Like
real quick, I don't remember him saying that either though. I didn't pay attention.
It was after he knocked out Luke Rockhold. When they did the press conference afterwards, and Luke Rockhold was being bitter backstage to him after he tried to be polite and say, good fight, it is what it is. He tried to be polite about it, and then he was being a dick, at the press conference. So he said, "Shut up, you, whatever." And the thing is, though, is did he? Because he even turned around and said, "Oh God, I bet I shouldn't have said that." Even as soon as he said it, he was like, "Fuck, I know I did." But the thing is, though, you got fucking crucified for it, fucking all week. Conor's been getting fucking literally nailed to a fucking cross by every social fucking media, white knight, justice warrior, whatever you want to fucking call them. Everybody.
What do they call them? Social justice warriors? Yeah.
Fuck, I don't give a shit. Those dudes have been nailing him to the goddamn cross with a nail gun. Gun. They've even been nice and just hit one or two. They're just like,
a lot of it too could be that Conor took so much flack for it that people don't even bother. They're like, whatever.
We have to hold people to an accountability, no matter how big of a star they are. Because what we're saying is right. For example, hear me out when I say this, and this is going to so trigger a lot of people. Right, I'm going balls to the wall.
Here we go.
Let's get it scared. Right.
Go ahead.
So, and by no means am I condoning anybody using any of this language whatsoever. So, hear me out. I listen to a rapper called Sky Zoo. African American. does not use the N-word in any of his songs. And the reason why he does this is because he believes in his mind and his ideology that if you use the word, whether it be in song or whatnot, you are inviting people to say it's okay to say it because it's in a song. It's part of the repetition of lyrics that are within music. So you are not saying it in a negative manner. You are saying it because it's just a word in a song. He doesn't agree with that. He personally believes that you saying the word in any context is enabling people to use the word.
Okay.
So, with that same context in mind, if people, and I'm not saying, I understand there's context between, the ER and the A, and I understand why people say it, and I get it, all that kind of stuff. But regardless, if everybody stopped saying it and went, we're not saying this, if every black person in the world went, we're not saying this word, nope, it's not acceptable by anybody, it puts so much weight on the word, you do not say the word. In the same context, if we turn around and go, these people aren't allowed to say it, Michael Bisping and Conor McGregor are not allowed to say the word faggot. They are not allowed to say it. But then we go, but this guy's okay to say it. We don't really care he said it. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to point this out.
Mm-hmm.
I understand he's of a different ethnicity. And I understand when people turn around and say, white people aren't allowed to say certain things, and they've done horrendous things over generations. I'm fucking with you, and it's a disgusting thing that has happened, and there's no denying it. But people of the now cannot be held accountable for something hundreds of years ago, because that's the divide that we get in the world. That's when you pit people against each other, and the 1%, the elite, whatever you want to reference them as, that's where they have power over us, because they manipulate us through media. And they pit white against black, brown, yellow, whatever you want to fucking, you know what I mean? That's what they do. So by enabling people to say, yo, he's black, he's allowed to say, the word faggot. Why? He's Cuban, he's allowed to say it. Why? Because by that account, a white person, if he turned around and said it, he gets fucking reprimanded, and
Right.
And granted, 100% should get reprimanded. The same way, though, that everybody else should.
Okay. Look, I agree with you. I think if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna go after one person, you got to go after somebody else that does it. But now that I was thinking about it right now, listening to what you were saying, a lot of it right now. Okay, Conor McGregor got, what would you call it? He was judged and convicted basically in the court of public opinion. It's like, you're the biggest name, you're a champion, blah blah blah. You Conor McGregor, you fucking whatever. In the court of public opinion, he got hammered. Jorge Masvidal should, if we're gonna be, in the same, keeping it fair, keeping it even to everybody. And you're right. You need to, if you want to go, move on as a human race, and be equal and all that stuff, you gotta let shit go. The problem is most people will not do that. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, there's enablers on the other side that continue the same kind of shit. You know what I mean? And it's weird. It's hard to get fucking anybody on the same page. You ever hear the term, a person is smart, people are stupid, or people are dumb? Yeah. The problem is one person is smart. You and I have this conversation, we're one-on-one right now. Yeah, we can come up with some very smart arguments. The second you get a group of people trying to discuss shit like this and trying to get on the same page, egos coming into play. Past experience coming to play. Someone has a heavy, hard personality, whatever, and they don't want to budge from their point of view. Most people will not. Most people, and I'll say this pretty confidently, most people are narrow-minded and will not budge from their own opinion. You know what I mean? Even if you prove them wrong, even if you use facts to prove them wrong, you know what they say? Fake news. They say, well, it's, well, whatever. I believe this. Like, there's still people that believe, that believe there's a fairy something or other control, pulling the strings for this whole universe. It's it's just too much. We're so different. It's almost like we're too far gone. Does that make sense?
The thing is, though, is I understand. Yeah, I get that. The thing is that irks me the most about it is especially one thing. We've seen. I know I shouldn't be surprised, but we've seen MMA media cover all the stuff that's been going on with Conor and the language that he used religiously. Not one of them during this posting of the BIsping Masvidal confrontation pointed out that is the key point to the article. The key point to that article should have been Masvidal uses homophobic slur at Michael Bisping during confrontation. That should have been the headline. Should have been.
Fair enough. But if you're comparing it to the Conor McGregor thing, in my opinion,
we hold people to a standard, and if you are going to be in media, and I know we always hate on the MMA media, and rightfully so. There's like fucking 2 or 3 good news outlets, if that. Have to do it, man. You have to be held accountable. And these MMA medias that have recently been using this smear campaign against Conor's name, rightfully so, I'll add again, should have immediately gone to Masvidal. I don't care about people using that word per se. Like, it doesn't bother me. It has no weight on me. Any word in the entire world doesn't have weight on me. Like, do I know that certain words are malicious and disgusting words? Yes. But to me, words are only used by the power that you give them. My problem is people aren't held to the same accountability. That is my entire problem. If you called me, anything you wanted to, I'd be like, whatever, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing to me because it's a word. Like, people turn around and said to me, like, so why did? Because we spoke about this on the show. I didn't get mad when a certain person, made ill wills towards my unborn child and death threats towards me. I didn't care about that because I think to myself, I didn't care about the threats towards me. I cared about the disgusting language towards my unborn child because that's just malicious and vulgar. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you said a passive word to me about me, I don't really care because it's me. I don't care. Like, when I'm seeing people turn around and not hold people to the same accountability, if I turn around and said to the same person, I hope your X, Y, and Z dies, and I didn't get the same amount of heat as he did, there's a problem. Because we're both as bad as each other. That's the problem. But we'll go on to a brighter note, and we're going to hit straight into the most interesting fight in the entire world, and it gives me the all kind of MMA boner, and not in a dirty way, not hashtag rolling with Ash, not in a dirty rolling way. Yo, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Rose Namajunas. Yo!
God, I'm pumped for this fight, man. It's okay. We know what Joanna brings to the table, right? Me, watching Rose, especially Rose head kick, unfortunately head kick my girl Michelle Waterson, knocking her the fuck out. That was a bummer, but I didn't want to see that fight because that's like that fight to me was like this fight to you. Like, I'm a big fan of both girls. I was like, fuck, I don't want anyone to lose this fight, But someone got to lose, and Michelle Waterson got fucked up. So, I wonder if Rose can do something like that with Joanna. I don't think she could. I think Joanna's chin, sure, she got rocked a little bit with Carolina, right? Andrade didn't rock her, I don't think.
Nope.
She hit her really hard, but she didn't hurt her like that. I wonder if Rose can sneak something in there. Maybe not hurt her on the feet. Can she get the fight to the ground? Can Joanna, because Joanna has good takedown defense, right? We've talked about this before. She's got really good takedown defense. It's going to be a bitch to get her down. I want to see Rose on her feet against her. Maybe not can you match her, but can you hold your own long enough to get Joanna lull her to sleep and get the fight to the ground somehow. Take down. Maybe even if Rose gets hurt or gets dropped, okay, and goes on her back, if Joanna comes in like a bat out of hell trying to get on top, trying to do some ground and pound, can Rose take advantage of the of jiu-jitsu off her back and shit? I mean, there's just so many ways you can go with this fight, right?
Do you think that Rose could lull Joanna into try, like, you know, we heard, you know, Nate claim that he, you know, took a dive,
Part of the game plan,
and tried to lull Conor in. Do you think that Rose could get away with that? Like, try and fake a little clink and just try and go her into the guard?
No, because Joanna will be like, get up. Joanna will back up and get up. I know what my strength is. I get up. Come on. You know what I mean? I think it'll take Joanna feeling like she actually hurt her. I don't think Joanna's stupid enough to get you know, fish to the ground. I don't think, right? Where it's like where Rose goes, oh no, I'm hurt. I'm on the ground, legs up, ready to go for some fucking butterfly hooks and shit like that or whatever, right? But I don't think. I mean, I think it's possible in the later rounds. I think it's gonna take some doing. I don't know. That's why this fight fascinates me. Is we know what Joanna brings. We've seen Rose improve. What can Rose do against a chick that looks unstoppable?
I'm going to say this. I'm going for magic. I've changed my opinion. I'm changing my decision. I'm going to make the big bold, because you know what? I believe in magic, bro. And I'm going to throw this out into the world, and I'm going to try and breathe positivity in this. I love Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She's one of my favorite fighters in the entire world,
bro.
But I'm going to go with Rose, and I'm going to go by submission, and I'm going to call by rear naked choke. I don't think she can get top position, but can she get the back during the clinch? Yes.
Yeah, she can. She's quick.
I'm going with Rose. She's going to get that spider monkey hook in, and she's going to go with the rear naked choke, bro. I'm telling you. I'm going full fucking Joey Diaz right now. I'm telling you. She's going to take the back. She's going to wrap that arm around the neck, whether it be stood up on the floor. She's going to have the back like she did against Angela Hill, and she's and she's going to fucking yank back, and you're just going to see Joanna go.
Yeah, you stole my thunder, sir. You stole my thunder. Okay, because I'm going Rose by triangle. Rose by triangle, sir. Yeah, Rose by triangle. I'm serious. I think Joanna wants to put on a good show. She's smart and everything, but I think she's gonna get annoyed as fuck with Rose and try to make a point and finish her with ground and pound. And one of those arms getting snatched from one side across the chest. Slide that right leg over. Push off the hip to find the angle. Grab your own shin if you got to. Lock that up nice and tight. Push off the hip again to find the angle even a little tighter. Grab your own shin again. Lock it. Back of the head. Bring it down. And a title belt falls right from the sky. I legit am picking that exact fucking, not exactly, you know, with the triangle. Okay, I'm going triangle. You stole my thunder, sir. I thought you were gonna go Joanna by TKO or some shit like that. That being said,
yeah, that's a very plausible thing.
That's the most possible scenario, in my opinion. If we go by percentages, or we go by ranking, number one possibility, Joanna TKOs the shit out of her in like the second round.
Pull up something real quick, because obviously I can't see it in over here. Will you pull up the odds for Joanna? Actually, I think I might be able to. I want to see what the odds are for Joanna and Rose Namajunas. I want to see how deep the odds are, because I dread to think how much of a favorite Joanna is in this fight.
I'm trying to find like a good, reputable website.
Yo, good luck.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's look at this one.
I'm going with bet, ladies and gentlemen. If you're from the United Kingdom, you know what's up.
Okay, so as of October 1st, it looks like Joanna's a minus 500 and Rose is a plus 350.
I'm going to try and find this real quick.
And that's what it looks like from here. I'm trying to see if anyone's. I mean, wow, BIsping St. Pierre is pretty close.
It will be, just because they're both old as shit. Right. So, yeah, that's pretty much the same. So, Joanna is 1-5. So, you put £5 on, you get £1 back. And Rose is 10-3. So, you put 10 quid. You put £3 on, and you get £10 back. That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yo, I'm putting bare money on fucking Rose. Rose, let's get it. I believe in you. Let's get it, Rose.
Oh, triangle, sir. But I don't know. Let's be honest. The most likely scenario. The most likely scenario is going to be Joanna by TKO on some savage fashion. But I am hoping so much that Rose pulls it off. I think this is more of a heart pick.
Yeah, this is one of those ones that, if we're being completely honest, ladies and gentlemen, if you was going to put money on this, believe me when I say both of us are saying to you, screaming to you, TKO or just decision for Joanna, just undoubtedly. Like that's just, if you're going to be, if you looking at us right now and you want the honesty, that's the pick. But if you believe in magic, ladies and gentlemen, you know, if you wanna get into that New York, if you can make it here type thing. Rose, baby, let's get it.
There you go.
I want to go in there with the bald head, the fucking light shining, bouncing off the glares into Joanna's eye, bust a cornea, and then she's just like, I can't even see Rose. And Rose is like skimping around the back of her after a clinch, gets one of those fucking hooks in and just jumps onto the back and then just get the she just puts it to sleep. But yeah, I love both girls, but
okay, let's do the same thing we did with the other two fights. Joanna wins. What's next?
She fights the winner of the 125 tournament champion tough, whoever that may be, and she fights that chick, whoever that may be, who wins the tough 125 inaugural championship women's title, and she probably wins that too, and then she fights Shevchenko.
All right, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say I agree with that as well. What about if Rose wins?
She shocks the world and she runs away with the belt, baby.
Yeah.
She did
it.
Yeah. She tells Pat Berry, break out the red boxes.
Break out the red box. Yeah, she might say that shit too.
Let's go. No, if Rose wins, her against Andrade.
Okay.
That's kind of the fight to make.
Yeah.
Because we already seen her get beat by Carolina. But obviously Claudia Gadelha got beat by Jessica Andrade, so Jessica's got a little bit more momentum. You know, bearing in mind Carolina obviously, you know, beat some chick who wasn't even ranked in the last fight, so I doesn't think it puts her in good stead. But then I can see Carolina versus Jessica Andrade. That wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, I'm gonna say if Rose wins, we get a rematch.
I wouldn't be mad at that, but I genuinely could see her fighting against the 125 champion sooner rather than late, because I think she just wants to fight 125.
Well, no, I'm talking about Rose. Oh, okay. Even if Joanna loses, she moves up?
Yeah, I think she moves up because I think to myself, like, there's much more pressing matters.
Okay, fair enough.
That's my only thing. I'm not saying that it's right. You know, I think that she would want to, but I think if you offered her, I think that's what you're going to see. Just my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough, man. All right. We want to talk about the other two fights?
Who are the other two fights in them? Because if you say Johnny Hendricks fight,
no, Thompson versus Masvidal.
Oh shit! I totally forgot that fight's even on there.
Yeah, it's a good fucking fight.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw this out there as well. Hendricks gets starched. I love my boy and everything like that, and he's a solid dude. Porcina. But yeah, is it Porcina?
I agree.
Is that his last name? Porcina.
What? Bohachina?
What? How do you say that? Sorry.
Bohachina.
Bohachina. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say things right, bro. Like I'm trying to get right. So.
Yeah. It's a Pablo Bohachina. But look. First of all, Hendricks is going to lose to the scale before he gets to the fight.
Nope. I believe in any. Let's go.
No, Johnny's not gonna make it. And then even if he does, Bohachina's gonna fuck him up. And then I'm going Masvidal over Thompson by bloody decision, maybe even a TKO.
Really?
Yeah. I mind you, I like Wonder Boy. I enjoy watching Wonder Boy with anybody other than Woodley. But it's except for that first fight was like fire, right?
Yeah.
But I like Masvidal's ability to make someone brawl with him, other than Damian Maia. I like seeing him make, I like his ability to do that. I like Wonder Boy's ability to adapt to that kind of thing, if that makes sense.
I like Wonder Boy on the back foot as well, so I'm going to completely disagree with you, and I'm going to go with Wonder Boy by knockout. Because the thing is what the key thing is styles make fights.
Yeah.
Masvidal likes to go forward. He likes to brawl. He likes to get in there with the quickness. Good luck against a karate dude who we've seen going backwards can spinning wheel kick you into oblivion.
Fair enough. Yeah, hey, fair enough, man.
I'm just saying, like, I like Masvidal. I think he's a great fighter. He's a very entertaining fighter. You know, I really do. There's a lot of fights I'd like to see Masvidal involved in, if I'm being completely honest with you. You know, all things aside with all this, you know, F-bomb bullshit, I think he's a marvelous fighter, and he's an exciting fighter as well. But I personally just think Wonder Boy is so technical, and he's so good at waiting for somebody to come in. I don't think Masvidal has the knockout power that Tyron Woodley has.
Yeah, true.
So with that same thing said, that explosiveness, it doesn't have it. And I think if you're gonna come in on Wonder Boy, if you're gonna come in, you have to come in hard. Like, you have to come in hard, and you have to make sure you land. Because if you don't, you have to make sure that you are vastly better at your wrestling. But the key thing is, though, is you know, Wonder Boy's been improving and training on his wrestling. It will slowly be improving. I just don't see Masvidal being able to do what Tyron Woodley did. And that's the only way, really, to nullify him. That's all.
Right. I mean, it'll be. I'm just pumped for a fight between two strikers. This fight probably won't go to the ground too much. And if it does, that'll be interesting to watch too. So
I'm with you. But yeah, that's so. Going on predictions right now. So from the main card, I'm going with BIsping, Rose, Cody, Boyagina, and
Thompson,
Wonder Boy.
Yeah. So I'm where we agree on all of them except for Wonder Boy. I'm going Masvidal.
Yo.
So
that's the crack, man. So yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anything else that we forgot, or is that it?
I can't think of anything, dude. I think I'm ready for this card, but it's only fucking Wednesday, so
I keep on thinking it's Friday. I'm not gonna lie.
I wish, dude. I wish, but it's all good.
It is what it is. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Make sure that you hit the like, subscribe, all that beautifulness. Let's get that fucking subscriber to 100 so we can get that custom URL so it can look sexy as fuck when you see fucking the heel hook coming across your screen. So additional to that, shout out to the sponsors, Receptra. Receptra do your CBD oils, hemp products, basically to heal your body, mind, all that good stuff. It helps Eddie with him doing physical activities like CrossFit, Jiu-Jitsu. Myself, we're working in physical work as well. And also helps with your mind as well. Other things it helps with, if you want to read up on CBD oil, I thoroughly implore you to do so. Also, you can find on our past episodes on SoundCloud and iTunes an interview with Lane, who is an expert in cannabis and CBD oil and products, and a very revered writer in that community of medicines and whatnot. So with that same thing said, go to receptionnaturals.com if you're in the States, receptionglobal.com if you're in Europe. Use the code word the heel hook on either of them when you filled up your cart. For your entire cart, you will get 10% off when you use the code word, all one word, the heel hook, all one word. Yeah, get some 10% off, heal your body, heal your mind, and your soul. Additional to that, make sure you check out Bane. Bane, seriously, guys, if you train whatsoever, whether you run, you roll, or if you just like to spar, or even if you just like to work out, spats, hoodies, tank tops, caps, I'm just saying, all that good stuff, all jiu-jitsu inspired as well, so it's the beautiful artwork that goes alongside it as well. And you can find them at bainstore.com. That's BAIN store.com. Make sure you use the code word, like I always say, 10% off your entire cart. Just drop the heel hook, just the heel hook, all one word, 10% off all your jiu-jitsu and athletic needs, all the attires on there. So make sure you check out bainstore.com. That's BAIN store.com. Where can they find you, Mr. Eddie Lau?
Find me on Twitter at Elaw31. Of course, the Keyboard Warriors are at Keyboard MMA. Snapchat's Elaw52, right? Yeah. So Instagram's Elaw7. And of course, in about 2.5 hours, the Keyboard Warriors will be live tonight at Keyboard Warriors MMA.live, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to keep this train rolling, talking about UFC 217, definitely. anything else that's going on in the world of MMA. Talking about a little bit about Sao Paulo last weekend and all that. Myself, Fred Kirby, Digital Bacava. Make sure you fucking tune in to that shit. Keyboard Warriors MMA.live. And of course, shout out, represent all the time. Repthewarriors.com.
Word. Additional to that, guys, you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes. Just search the heel hook, same logo, all that beautifulness. Make sure you subscribe to that. Check out some of the past episodes with some of the amazing people that we've had the opportunity to speak to, like Dan Hardy, TJ DeSantis, various of different people through the MMA world as well. Jason the Kid Knight, various people. Additional to that, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit that like. Deeply appreciate all the support and the love that you give us. You can find me at Ashley Lamprey on Twitter. That's ASHLEYLAMPREY. All of our links, by the way, are going to be in the description, so make sure that you click on one of those. Give us all the support that you can. Also, as well, the Heel Hook Show on Twitter. Make sure that you drop that a follow also for all your additional content. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We appreciate you coming through. We'll be dropping loads of mini episodes if you missed any of this, or it'll also be on iTunes and SoundCloud within the next 24 hours. So make sure you check that out. And appreciate all your support. So, with that same thing said, if you're a lover or a fighter or a hater, peace up. Head down. We're out of here.